Bases loaded. 2 out. Hard hit into right. Back at the wall. Tie game! Big Papi. The grand slam. And Torrey Hunter injured himself going over the wall. Into the Red Sox.
Alright guys, that was David Ortiz. His nickname was the Big Papi. He played for the Twins and the Red Sox in his career. He's still playing right now. He has 2,386 hits, 521 home runs in the 500 home run club, number 21 on that list. And he was the American League MVP.
22-year-old Ted Williams arrived at the 1941 All-Star Game hitting .405. And in the bottom of the ninth in Detroit, he stepped to the plate with 2 on and the American League trailing by 1. What happened next was a slice of All-Star history.
Williams swings at a high drive. It is a home run.
Oh, I was so happy and I was so proud. And I saw myself galloping around the bases, clapping my hand.
Williams, of course, would finish that season with a .406 average. No one has reached the 400 plateau since.
Yes, hitting that home run in the All-Star game in the 9th inning was certainly a big thrill, and I'll never forget the rest of my life.
Was the splendid Splinters game-winning shot the greatest moment in All-Star Game history?
Alright guys, that was Ted Williams, and he also had 521 career home runs, tied with David Ortiz, 2,654 hits. He played with the Red Sox his whole career. He's a 19-time All-Star and 2 times American League MVP.
Pete Rose is 1 out of 15. He leads it off here in Game 5. And he hits a high drive into deep right. That was way back, and it is gone. He hits the first pitch for a home run. And the Reds lead very quickly, 1-0.
Pete Rose played baseball at 1 speed, and that gear was on full display in 1970. The game was tied in the bottom of the 12th when Charlie Hustle rounded third looking to score on a Jim Hickman single. And suddenly, Ray Fosse was all that stood between Rose and a National League win. The collision left Fosse with a separated shoulder, and Rose unapologetic about his effort to win.
I did start to slide, but he left me no recourse because there was no place to slide, and there's no sense in ever sliding into a bag if you can't get the bag.
Was Pete Rose's collision with Ray Fosse the greatest moment in All-Star Game history?
Alright guys, that was Pete Rose at number 1. He played on the Reds, the Phillies, and the Red Sox. He's a 17-time All-Star. He won 3 World Series. And he was the National League MVP in 1973. Alright guys, so that's the top 3 Red Sox of all time. It was at number 3, David Ortiz, number 2, Ted Williams, and number 1, Pete Rose. That was episode 2 of the MLB Top 3 series. I'll be posting vids every other day, probably. Every day if I have a chance. But anyway, that was it for today, and be back with another video soon.